Hi, guys. Welcome to another podcast episode. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys because I've been out of commission. I've been working on my 200-hour yoga teacher training after many, many years of practicing yoga. So I started my yoga journey back in 2012. I didn't think about doing a training until maybe 8 years ago. And just with the timing and financial commitment and all sorts of things, I just never took the leap. And so this year I decided to, it was almost a year ago that I decided to sign up for this training. And I spent 5 months studying and learning and developing my teaching skills. So I'm really happy that I waited, I guess, or that the timing never worked out. It just feels so aligned with where I'm at right now. And I got a teaching job at a gym, so I'll be teaching a class once a week. So that's kind of what I've been up to. I will say, when you're in the midst of teacher training, it's almost like being in grad school or at least being back in college because yeah, you're doing yoga classes while you're in the training, but for me, it was more studying and homework and memorizing and flashcards and all of those sorts of things, which can be kind of stressful. Um, but then you do the yoga and then you feel great. So, but that being said, I would like to share some things that I've learned along the way to reset my nervous system. Because let me tell you, that was a whole mental health journey these last 5 months. I had a lot of ups and downs. I had a lot of bad mental health days, feeling not good enough, feeling overwhelmed, feeling burnt out. And it's real. It's real. You know, when you go through something that you're working towards that you really care about, totally normal to feel those types of ways, but it's handy to have tools in place to kind of mitigate those symptoms and regulate and things to turn to that ground you. And so the first thing I would like to talk about today is it's kind of three things in one, but for me it's deep imaginings. This could also for you be meditation. If you can't meditate, you could try a sound bath, kind of whatever audio experience that you prefer. If you don't know what a deep imagining is, I can leave a link in the description if you are interested. Deep imagining is essentially a self hypnosis track, but it involves a lot of somatic practices, a lot of EMDR informed tools. So it's a little more on the therapeutic side than just a meditation, but you can definitely use free meditations online, anything to guide you into a regulated state, any kind of voice or audio. I don't know. I'm just a very audio sensory type of person. So that helps me so much. And sometimes it's just like listening to a sound bath and like breathing deeply. Oh my gosh, that can be so regulating. So, first step is calm your nervous system before bed with some kind of sound meditation or deep imagining. Number two, and some of these are going to be cliche, guys, but they're cliche for a reason, okay? Rise with the sun. Rise with the sun and go for a morning walk for 15 minutes with no headphones. This is extremely challenging, guys. And I even go so far as to take my headphones with me as like emotional support. Like, I have the headphones there if I need them, but I like to challenge myself to not use them because I realize I use them as such a crutch. And just listening to the birds chirp and being extremely present with the sensation of the breeze on my skin can be so immensely grounding and healing, profoundly healing. So, invite presence into your day by going on a walk first thing, as long as you are able. I mean, if it's raining, just get some gentle movement in because number three, we don't want to use our phone for the first 30 minutes of the day. Another cliche, another thing that we've been talking about for years now, but really it's also challenging. So, but distract yourself with something like movement or reading or journaling, anything. I like to change it up and do any of those things or go for a walk. Getting that sunlight on your eyes first thing in the morning is going to regulate your circadian rhythm. So that's always a good choice. But if it's not accessible to you, or if you're just not in the mood, journal, read a book, do something that does not involve a screen for at least 30 minutes. And if you have a coffee ritual, you can eat a little snack before your coffee. Make sure to eat before coffee, guys, especially females. So don't drink coffee on an empty stomach. This is like my worst sin, I guess you could say. I definitely rush the mornings sometimes and I skip breakfast, but I always have my coffee because coffee is my fuel, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I rely on coffee in the morning. I am trying to challenge myself to drink a little bit less and spread my coffee maybe throughout the day so that I'm not just piling up on caffeine. But if anything, make sure you eat a little bit before your coffee. The next item on our list is slow, breath led movement. Yoga being one of these practices that it has so many components to it because yoga is movement, it's breath work, it's mindfulness. It incorporates so many things, ethics. If you practice the ethics of yoga, there's so much to yoga. And I really believe, especially the movement and the breath work, can be so somatically healing because you are so tuned into yourself. And I'm not talking power yoga where you're moving so fast through the poses you can't even get into the damn pose. Like, I'm talking, we have a full on get in tune with your body, do some deep breathing, move mindfully, move with intention and awareness, full shavasana, the whole shebang, okay? I really think movement is a fantastic doorway into presence within your body, which can lead to awareness, which can lead to healing, which can lead to so many beautiful things spiraling out into the web of the world. And that's why I practice yoga. So it doesn't have to be yoga, but any kind of mindful movement, especially early on in the day or right before bed, can be so incredible for your nervous system. Number six, let's talk about reading. Honestly, okay, I'm going to combine number six and number seven together because when you notice what you're consuming and how your body reacts, and I'm talking about media, conversations, environments, and this is a practice, guys. This is a practice. Tuning into your awareness first and noticing how your body reacts to these things. I don't like scary movies. I've never liked them. No hate, no shade. If you like scary movies, that's fine. Whatever it's doing to your nervous system, I might be a little concerned, but it might be the adrenaline that you crave. You know, maybe you're understimulated or something and you need like that dopamine hit, like totally valid. But for me, I just get really anxious when I watch them. And that's just an example of selecting my media and what I consume and how it's affecting me, how it's maybe shaping my views on things. I like to vary my media. I like to change it up between podcasts, books, TV shows occasionally. I don't really watch movies, but music I do like. I notice how my body's reacting, especially I kind of was noticing, I was going back and listening to a lot of old music that I listened to For example, in like middle school, high school, and a lot of it's like really aggressive, like rock music and metal. And I was like, damn, like, how did I listen to this? I must have had so much angst because now I listen to it and I'm realizing it's like really it does something to my body that I don't like. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not aligned with me anymore, and that's totally fine. What I was leading into with that is reading for a short period of time every day because reading is proven to reduce stress, especially if you are reading something that's not stressful. If you're reading a stressful book, I don't know if I like, do they cancel each other out? I don't know. But poetry is my favorite thing to read. I love Young Pueblo. I'm going to butcher her name, but Brianna Wiest. Um, any kind of like healing literature. Right now, I just finished my third Young Pueblo book, and I am reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. Kind of rereading it. I started reading it months ago, maybe even last year at this point, and now I'm rereading it. And I got the physical copy of the book, and I'm so much happier reading that than the one on my Kindle. It also is a good way and a safe way to kind of distract yourself from maybe the pain of life. If you're going through something, it's nice to create another world in your head. And so that's where I value fiction, but I don't really read fiction very often. I do find it fascinating that you can create these entire worlds with these characters and escape into them. I think that's so beautiful. I have a really hard time kind of getting into that mindset, I guess you could say, but it can be very helpful for relieving stress to just escape into a book. Lastly, but not leastly, we've got nature. Nature. Nature is, I don't need to like recite all the studies that have been done on nature and being out in nature. There's books and books written upon how fantastic nature is for your nervous system. And, if you go on that 15-minute walk in the morning, it can be fantastic. But I think what's recommended, and I want to say this is a Japanese culture thing, but I think it's recommended 4 hours of forest bathing a week. So getting out into nature, that could be 2 hours on a Saturday, 15 minutes on a Monday through Thursday, and then another hour on Friday, however you split it up. That's actually a lot of hours, it seems like, but I think it's really worth it, especially if you pair it with a book or maybe go have a picnic in nature. You don't have to just be like sitting and meditating and being like the little Buddha in nature. Enjoy it with friends, enjoy a good conversation in nature. Call up a friend if you don't have someone to walk with, and get the sunlight on your eyes, hear the birds chirp, feel the breeze on your skin. I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. I hope some of these habits were beneficial, were good reminders, if anything, of how to regulate the heck out of your nervous system because calm is a habit, you guys. It needs to be practiced. That stress can build up so quickly and lead to so many issues down the road. And we are not immune to stress. No one is. Don't feel shame for being stressed. We all get stressed. But do take accountability and do take the time for yourself to regulate your nervous system. It will help you make better decisions. It will help you live a more fulfilling life. I promise you. So if you take one or two things from this list, that's perfect. You don't have to do everything on the list. Thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.